Rob Reiner's story begins in the Bronx, New York, where he was born on March 6, 1947. From the very start, he was surrounded by creativity, humor, and show business. His father, Carroll Reiner, was already a giant in the world of comedy, writing and performing on legendary programs like Your Show of Shows and later creating the iconic The Dick Van Dyke Show. Growing up in such a household meant that young Rob was constantly immersed in stories, performance, and comedic timing. He wasn't just watching television, he was sitting in on a masterclass every single day. This unique upbringing gave him a deep understanding of the craft long before he ever set foot on a stage. But instead of simply following in his father's shadow, Rob developed his own voice, one that would make him one of the most versatile creative forces in Hollywood. In the early 1970s, Rob Reiner became a household name when he took on the role of Michael Meathead Stivic in the groundbreaking sitcom All in the Family. As the liberal son-in-law constantly clashing with the conservative Archie Bunker, played by the incomparable Carroll O'Connor, Rob's character became a symbol of a younger generation questioning the old guard. The show broke new ground by using comedy to tackle subjects that American television had largely avoided: race, gender roles, politics, class, and generational change. Reiner's portrayal earned him immense respect and made him a familiar face in living rooms across the country. For many actors, such a defining role can become both a blessing and a cage. But Rob Reiner wasn't interested in being typecast. Instead, he used his success as a springboard into a new chapter, one behind the camera. His directorial debut came in 1984 with This Is Spinal Tap, a film that would change the comedy landscape. This mockumentary was so sharp and so deadpan that many viewers genuinely thought it was real. Its brilliant satire of rock culture has made it a timeless classic, and it revealed Reiner's extraordinary ability to find truth inside absurdity, a trait that would define his directing career. He followed this triumph with a string of films that would cement his place as one of the most versatile filmmakers of his generation. In 1986, he directed Stand By Me, based on a Stephen King novella. This moving story about friendship, mortality, and growing up remains one of cinema's most beloved coming-of-age tales. Then, in 1987, came The Princess Bride, a film that defied genre labels by blending fantasy, romance, adventure, and comedy. Though it wasn't a blockbuster at first, it gradually became a cultural touchstone, cherished by generations. In 1989, Reiner directed the romantic comedy When Harry Met Sally, a film that reshaped the genre entirely. With its honest exploration of relationships and sharp, memorable dialogue, including that unforgettable diner scene, it became a cultural phenomenon. Just a few years later, in 1992, he proved his dramatic prowess with A Few Good Men. This intense courtroom drama contained one of the most iconic lines in movie history, Jack Nicholson's booming, "You can't handle the truth," and once again showed that Reiner could master any tone, whether comedy, romance, or high-stakes drama. Meanwhile, Rob continued to act, proving his comedic instincts were just as sharp as ever. In 1987, he appeared in the dark comedy Throw Mama from the Train alongside Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito, showing audiences he could match other comic heavyweights. In 1993, he charmed viewers in Sleepless in Seattle, adding warmth and humor to the romantic classic. Woody Allen cast him in Bullets Over Broadway in 1994, a witty film that highlighted his ability to handle fast, sophisticated dialogue. Through the 1990s, he popped up in films like The First Wives Club, 1996, Primary Colors, 1998, and EDTV, 1999, always bringing depth and likability to his supporting roles. He often gave himself cameo appearances in his own films, too, most famously as the faux documentarian Marty DeBurgi in This Is Spinal Tap. Later, he appeared in The Story of Us, 1999, Alex and Emma, 2001, and the political drama Shock and Awe, 2017, proving that he could shift between satire and sincerity with ease. He even poked fun at himself in comedies like Dickie Roberts, former child star, 2003, and popped up in 30 Rock, 2010, delighting fans who recognized his playful self-awareness. Younger audiences got to know him through his recurring role on the hit sitcom New Girl between 2012 and 2018. And in 2013, he surprised viewers with a strong turn in Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street, holding his own alongside Leonardo DiCaprio in a film packed with powerhouse performances. Even in recent years, Rob Reiner has continued to honor his roots. In December 2023, he opened the CBS primetime special Dick Van Dyke, 98 Years of Magic, with a heartfelt tribute and on-camera conversation with the comedy legend himself, reminding audiences that Reiner is a living bridge between Hollywood's golden age and its modern era. Rob Reiner's personal life has been shaped by two major relationships. In 1971, at the height of his early acting fame, he married actress and director Penny Marshall. She was already a beloved figure, and their marriage joined two creative forces under one roof. During their marriage, Reiner legally adopted Marshall's daughter, Tracy Reiner. Born in 1964, Tracy went on to have her own successful acting career, appearing in films like A League of Their Own, Apollo 13, and Die Hard. Although Rob and Penny divorced in 1981 after a decade together, their bond left a lasting mark on Hollywood's creative landscape. Several years later, while filming When Harry Met Sally, Rob met photographer Michelle Singer. Their meeting wasn't just personally life-changing, it even inspired him to rewrite the film's original ending. Initially, he planned for the two main characters to part ways, but his growing love for Michelle led him to craft the happy ending audiences now cherish. The two married in 1989 and built a loving family together, welcoming 3 children, Jake in 1991, Nick in 1993, and Romy in 1997. Reiner has often credited Michelle with bringing stability, inspiration, and joy to his life, qualities that helped sustain his long career. Now, at the age of 78, Rob Reiner looks back on one of the most defining professional relationships of his life, his time working alongside Carroll O'Connor. For years, fans speculated that the heated debates between their characters on All in the Family reflected real tension behind the scenes. But Reiner has now spoken openly to set the record straight. Carroll O'Connor was one of the most brilliant actors I've ever had the privilege of working with, Reiner explained. Archie Bunker could have been just a one-note caricature. But Carroll gave him depth. He gave him humanity. You could hate Archie, and yet somehow you also understood him. That was Carroll's genius. Reiner admitted that working opposite such a commanding actor was intimidating. Every scene with Carroll pushed me to bring my best. He never had to say anything. Just by his presence, he raised the bar. He also shared that, contrary to public belief, their off-camera relationship was full of mutual respect and warmth. We didn't fight. We weren't enemies. In fact, Carroll was like a mentor to me. I learned so much just by watching him work. The way he could control a moment with a simple look or pause. It was extraordinary. Off-screen, Carroll O'Connor was nothing like Archie Bunker. Reiner described him as thoughtful, kind, gentle, and deeply intellectual. He hated the very prejudices that Archie represented, Rob said. But he played the role so truthfully that people sometimes confused the character with the man. Carroll never did. He knew exactly who he was. The lessons Reiner learned from O'Connor stayed with him throughout his filmmaking career. Carroll taught me that art should challenge people, not just comfort them. He once told me, if people aren't uncomfortable, we're not doing our job. That stuck with me, and I've carried that idea into everything I've directed, from Stand By Me to A Few Good Men. Reflecting on their friendship, Reiner grew emotional. The truth is, Carroll O'Connor was one of the kindest men I ever met in this business. People saw Archie and thought maybe Carroll was like that. He wasn't. He was generous, he was supportive, and he cared deeply. I feel lucky that I got to know the real Carroll. At 78, Rob Reiner's words hold the weight of a lifetime spent in entertainment. His tribute clears away years of misconception and honors the legacy of an actor whose work challenged, moved, and entertained millions. I loved him, Reiner concluded softly. He wasn't just my co-star. He was my teacher, my friend, and truly one of the greats.